have
been
fun.
the nice thing to do. Okay, honey, you like zombies so much. Well, let's just see
You
what
ready?
it's like.
Yay!
Hey, Zombieland! It's not as fun as it looks, honey.
You never know. Today we're sponsored by no one, so be sure to go through walkingdeadcast.com/Amazon whenever you buy stuff at Amazon. Thank you.
Thank you. Nobody.
Thank you for no one is great. Nothing is great. You should try it. That's very zen.
It is.
Okay, let's stop with the blabbering and get on with the business.
Let's do it.
Attention shoppers, Deadcast Top 5 in 5, 4, 3, 2.
All right, it's Deadcast Top 5 this week. It's our top 5 highlights for Season 4, Episode 14, The Grove. Oh, by the way, I'm going to talk about Walker Stalker Con a little bit later. I just got back from Chicago. Amazing weekend. But I wanted to get right into the review, so I'll talk about it after this.
Show off.
So what'd you think?
Oh, it was a rough episode. So it's hard for me to really rate it.
Get excited about it.
Yeah, it was an excellent episode, but
Yeah.
I can't say I enjoyed watching it.
Okay, so you can't. So you're not going to rate it. This will be.
I am going to rate it because who am I kidding? 4.5 out of 5.
That's high.
Sad flowers.
I know. I thought it was just really great. Really good episode. I loved it. I wouldn't want to have to feel like that every week.
I know.
But I just thought it was so well executed and thrilling and emotional, and I gave it a 4.8 GACs.
Oh, that's a high GAC rating for you.
Almost the highest ever. Not
Yeah.
quite, but I also thought Brighton Charbino was amazingly good. The girl who played Lizzie.
Yeah. Oh, she really was.
And
she really was.
And she was at Walker Stalker Con. And did I tell you that already?
Yes.
Yeah. And she was super sweet and nice and bubbly. And she was like really hyper, bouncing all around and stuff. And just very friendly. But I've heard that she's gotten death threats.
Oh.
Can you believe that? Like people treating her as if she's her character.
Oh, that's awful.
I know.
Be nice to poor little Lizzie Borden.
She's a great actress and she's just a little girl, but I mean, there's absolutely no reason. And so anyway, it was, she I think she was maybe a little nervous coming into the con, but she said, I think that was her first con, but everybody treated her really well there. So she was really happy.
I'm really glad. By the way, I think she plays Woody Harrelson's daughter on True Detective.
Yes. That's right.
And it's kind of astonishing. She went from The Walking Dead to another show that's just getting unbelievably great reviews. And so yay for her for picking the good ones.
Totally.
Well done, Brighton.
She did try to stab me when no one was looking, but otherwise, just kidding.
It's nice you recovered.
So can I go first this time?
Yeah, do it.
Okay, so my number 5 is the big obvious one. Just the fact that Lizzie killed her sister Mika and then Carol killed Lizzie. I don't know why I'm putting those both into one because it's just devastating kills and I guess I want to get it over with. But just coming upon like Carol and Tyrese walking along in the field telling jokes and then they come upon that horrific scene was so... Like I was watching it with people this time and this woman who I don't even know was just like going, oh my God. And she grabbed my knee. She goes, I don't know who you are, but I'm going to grab your knee. It was just crazy,
Wow.
And then to see the baby lying right next to her, I was sort of simultaneously really relieved.
Yeah, right. Oh, you mean relieved that did
the
you
baby
think that
wasn't dead?
Yeah. Oh, I know. Yeah, I was too. It's funny. I was like, oh, thank God it wasn't Judith. But then I thought about it and I thought, well, that's crazy because Mika's this darling little girl
of course,
and doesn't have a mean bone in her body. By the way, while we were watching it, right after they came upon Lizzie holding the bloody knife, I looked over at David, and he just had this gobsmacked look on his face. His jaw was open. He had this this horrified look in his eyes, and I'm like, "Yep, that's about what it looks like."
That's serious because David is cool as ice. Usually,
yes, he is. It takes a lot to get that expression from him.
Finally found out what it took.
Right. A little girl killing a little girl.
I see what you mean about, and I kind of felt a little guilty about being more relieved that Judith, but I mean, one thing is Judith's just a baby, so that's one reason that's valid.
Yeah, right.
You can't even walk, like she said, but we also know her. I mean, we don't know her because she's just a baby, but she's Rick's baby, you know? I felt more attached to her.
I do too.
Than I did Mika.
Yeah.
But I was relieved about two things this episode: that the baby survived, and that we'll get into this more later, but that Carol came clean with Tyrese, and now we don't have to worry about that anymore.
Yeah, exactly.
So those were two things that made me feel like, I'm not just leaving this episode feeling totally devastated and depressed, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, now they're back on the path to Terminus. Hopefully they'll find other people in their group, and that's hopeful. So there are a couple of hopeful things, but man, it took it out of me. It was really dark.
Lizzie said, "Don't worry, she'll come back. I didn't hurt her brain." That's I bet you anything that Mr. Blog and Gracie Lou's Comic Talk section is going to mention that line because it's straight out of the comic.
Really? Ripped from the comic.
Yep. So do you think Carol did the right thing?
I was thinking about that today and mulling it over in my head, and yesterday, thinking about it all and trying to figure out what other alternatives did she have. I don't know that she had a lot of other alternatives. She could have given her some sort of stern lecture, but that didn't seem to work. She had given her a lot of lectures before, and nothing really worked.
This has been going on for a while. Lizzie being crazy about the zombies.
And I think once, Lizzie got the wind of Mika being dead, I think she probably would have turned on Carol. And if Carol had done what she needed to do, which is, and I think Carol did, which is...
Yeah, she took out her knife.
Yes. So
she told her she was going to tie her up, but as soon as Tyrese took Lizzie away, Carol took out her knife, so you could sort of presume what would happen next.
Exactly. And once Lizzie got wind of that, it would have, I'm sure, thrown her, into the deep end more than she already was. So there's just no coming back. I mean... That is sort of a theme of past seasons, which is, can you come back? And I don't think Lizzie can. And I also think she was probably pretty messed up to begin with.
Yeah.
Because do you remember when Mika said to her, "Okay, Lizzie, here's how you do it. Look at the flowers, count to 3. It seemed to be a thing between them.
Yeah, Lizzie or Mika knew.
Oh, she sure did.
She was messed up. And she said something about rabbits, and Lizzie shot her an evil look.
Yeah, you don't mind dead rabbits, or killing them either.
And so, I mean, there's one thing about Lizzie sort of thinking, okay, that zombies are just another form of being alive, which is semi reasonable, not really, but at least you can sort of understand how a child might think that. But the part about just picking rabbits apart and nailing up to the wall for fun, that's kind of psycho. And that's what they say a lot of serial killers did when they were kids. They tortured animals.
Yeah, exactly.
So it seems pretty clear that she's just psychotic.
Yeah, she was about ready to smother
the baby,
Judith. Yeah.
Yep. So during the Instant podcast in Chicago, everybody was, the room was full of energy because, everybody liked the episode and it was just a fun event. And I asked, hey, so who thinks that Carol did the wrong thing? And nobody raised their hand. And I'm like, who thinks she did the right thing? And everybody was like, yeah. And later on, Lou Temple, who played Axel, came around. And they're like, oh, come sit down, Lou, sit down. Tell us what you thought. And he's all, I'm not sure you want to hear my thoughts. And we're like, yeah. So he goes, how many of you are parents in this room? How many of you parents could look me in the eye and tell me that you could take your own child's life?
Whoa.
All the energy just drained out of the room. And then someone said, well, maybe if they killed their sibling. And he goes, how many of you have handicapped children?
Wow.
Would you kill them if they did something bad? And, it sort of made me like, because my first reaction was, yeah, that was what she needed to do. And I still kind of think it was, but it made me think, oh, what if Nico killed somebody? Would I be able to do it? I don't even want to think about that.
Yeah, I know. It's such an awful, awful thought.
Yeah.
But
so let's move on to something else. So Carol, we think Carol just put Mika out of her misery, right?
Yeah, no, Carol put Lizzie out of her misery. Yeah.
Well, Lizzie too, but Mika too. Like,
oh yeah, from her walker misery. Yeah. Like I said, they don't look like they're happy. They're moaning. No. They're constantly hungry. Yeah, often they're frowning.
Not smiling.
You never see a smiling zombie. No, it makes you think they're really not having a good time.
I saw a creepy zombie clown at Walker Stalker Con.
Did it bite you?
He got right up next to my ear.
Well, creepy zombie clown, that combines a lot of creepy genres.
I know. And the guy seemed like he might be kind of creepy anyway. So what's your number 5?
All right, well, my number 5 was actually the moment when we find out what Lizzie did. So we kind of talked about that, but I wanted to also add a couple of things. That there was a lot of foreshadowing of this. So when I went back and I watched the whole episode again, they really shadowed it even from the very beginning of the season. From episode 1, it was shadowed. So I think people who read the comic probably knew it was coming, but those of us who did not, including myself, I didn't know it was coming, so I was completely shocked, and it hit me like a ton of bricks. But looking at it again, watching the episode again, I'm like, oh yeah, look at, she's saying this and she's saying that. When Carol asks her, you understand what they are now, right? After Mika almost gets bitten when her leg gets caught in the barbed wire. Lizzie replies, I know what I have to do. I know. Yeah. And by the way,
you don't want to let that lie. You want to figure out exactly it is that she just realized she needs to do.
Right. Don't you think Carol should have said, okay, well, what's that now?
What exactly is that? Kill the zombies, right? Or not even give her like multiple choice, just make it an essay question. What is that exactly?
Scenario 1. A zombie is almost on you.
Yeah. What exactly?
What do you do?
Scenario 2. You're playing in the field with your sister. You have a knife. There's a zombie. Which one do you kill? Then it could be multiple choice. A, the zombie. B, your sister. C, the baby. D, all of the above.
Crap.
D, not D. E, B, and C.
And also she was saying that at the very beginning of the episode, I didn't even pay attention to this really, but she was talking with Carol and she was saying, I saved Tyrese. I shot a man and I shot a woman. I didn't mean to shoot him in the head. And at first I thought, oh, she really regrets killing them. But no. She just regrets shooting them in the head so that they didn't have a chance to come back.
Yeah, I kind of got that. I mean, yeah. So, but it's just so great that you're right. I mean, there's so many things that are great about this. Scott Gimple, he planned it all out from the beginning, but he did it in such a way that even those of us who read the comics weren't sure. Like I thought Lizzie was probably a mirror for in the comics. I don't want to spoil the comics, but it's not exactly the same, so you can't tell. I'll tell you that it's boys. So, I don't know. You might not think that makes a big difference, but I wasn't sure. And also they threw in this whole thing about who killed Karen and David. So that made me confused, and even when you were saying you thought it was Lizzie that did it, I was against that, and I turned out to be right, but I just didn't know. I mean, it was great because even though I read the comics, they put enough spin on it that I really didn't know what was going to happen. But the other thing I love about that, like you said, is that the seeds were all planted, so it's not like they just threw something in to shock you at the end because they didn't have enough story. They had carefully laid this all out from the very beginning, which I think is really cool.
Yes, exactly. I completely agree. And by the way, I think I owe you a 6-pack. I'm pretty sure I do.
No.
It also was sort of up in the air, I think, up until the very last episode, who killed Carol and David. Karen and David. What are their names again? Oh yeah, that's right, Karen and David. I think it was kind of up in the air. It could very well have been Lizzie.
Right.
But
well,
Carol made a good point that she wouldn't have burned him.
Yeah, she made a good, and when she said that, it was like, oh yeah. But I thought, I was starting to think that Lizzie did it, and then Carol helped her drag them out, but because she couldn't have dragged them out by herself. But then, that's a good point. Like, she wants to see zombies. She doesn't want to see people incapacitated. So it didn't make sense. It's not her MO.
Right.
Unless you're a rabbit, and then it's okay to just splay you apart and nail you to the wall.
Ew.
Okay, well, my number 4 is Lizzie's thought process, which we've kind of covered a lot. It seems like actually that she was sort of working out her thoughts about the zombies. Sometimes she did look scared of them. She even shot some of the charred ones, and put them down. It looked like like I said, sometimes she just seems murderously psycho, but other times it seemed like she was sort of getting it. She told Carol a couple times, okay, I understand. Sometimes you do need to kill them. And so either she was lying when she said that, or she was just confused, Mm-hmm. But I don't think it was inconsistent, though. I still believed it. And I thought also that she just acted it all really well, especially the part where she kind of had a fit after Carol killed the zombie that she was playing with in the field.
Yeah.
And she was like, you killed her. You didn't have to. I just thought I've seen kids, just throw a fit like that. And I thought she did a great job.
By the way, did you notice that she named that zombie?
Oh, no.
Yeah, you could hear it faintly. You could hear her call her Griselda.
Oh yeah, I think so. Right after Mika had named her doll the same thing.
Yep.
The creepiest moment of the series, of the show, I guess it was seeing, her bloody hands and her sister dead there. That was the worst. But then right after that, when she said, "But Judith can change too," I was just about to.
No. Yeah, thank God that they didn't go much longer than they had out there in the woods. I wouldn't have. By the way, if I had a mentally disturbed kid, and I was pretty certain she was a mentally disturbed kid that didn't want to kill zombies, I'm pretty sure I wouldn't have left her alone with her kid sister and a baby. I mean,
I know.
I think that was one plot point I would have changed that.
I just think it's really hard for them to find believable situations where people are in danger, because smart people would be able to handle zombies and would be able to watch their kids and all this stuff. But we need danger and death on this show, so it seems like they act stupid because it's just impossible to figure out how, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's a handy plot device. And maybe you could give the reason as Carol really wanted to have a little time alone to talk, grown up to grown up with Tyrese.
Yeah.
That might be a good excuse, but yeah, I'm like, don't leave them alone. That's bad babysitting.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, my turn we kind of already talked about this too, but when Carol confesses to killing David and Karen, I loved how that was done. And I love that Tyrese forgives her. Like I said before, it's a very dark episode. And this was a rare moment of grace. And it was very, very touching. And it's funny, at the first time I watched it, I was still so worried that Carol was going to get killed. I couldn't relax into the moment.
By Tyrese.
Yeah. I thought Tyrese was going to kill her. I thought, oh my God, this is just endless. Tyrese is going to kill her, and then he's going to leave with Judith, which he could have easily. But the second time I watched it, I watched Chad Coleman, who's wonderful. My God, he's wonderful, and watched him a little more closely. and you can see the struggle on his face, and you can see the struggle on Melissa McBride's face too. You know, what's he going to do, and how he sort of works through it, and then he forgives her, and it's so sweet. And it's not. He forgives her, but he says, I'm not going to forget. It's part of you. He understands. She told him at the exact right moment after she had to kill Lizzie and had to do something horrible.
That's the right moment because he was complicit in that. So
Yes,
he kind of just had to do something horrible too. And you could almost cynically say that's strategically the right moment for her to tell him, because she didn't have to say it, but what's implied is, well, you just let me kill this little girl. So
Yeah,
you did
exactly.
something bad too.
Exactly.
You gotta do bad things, right?
Right. Yeah, you're right.
But
and maybe she knew.
I was totally relieved that he forgave her, but I'm not so sure I believe that. I would think the way it came off is he did say, I'm going to remember this, but it felt like, she's safe from him now and he's not going to worry about it anymore. And I think in real life, like if I was him, I wouldn't be able to help but sometimes just get into a funk about it and maybe yell at her a couple more times or something, you know how it is when you have a couple that fights about the same thing over and over again. Sometimes you think you're over it, but you're really not.
Right. It's not exactly water under the bridge,
Yeah.
It's some of it's
Remember
past,
that time you killed
ain't.
my girlfriend?
Bitch.
Yeah,
Exactly.
You always have to bring that up.
I killed Karen and David. So
Okay, get over it.
apparently, so I watched The Talking Dead after the episode, and Melissa McBride thought that she thought that Carol was thinking that she thought that Tyrese would understand, but that she was surprised that Tyrese forgave her.
Oh,
I thought
that's
was nice.
cool.
Yeah.
Did she say that maybe she thought Tyrese would kill her, and if that was going to happen, then maybe she deserved it, or so be it? Or
she said that she thought that Carol was letting Tyrese make the call, but that she didn't guarantee that Carol wouldn't have, if she saw him really reach for the gun, that she wouldn't have flipped the table over.
She said that?
Yeah.
That's hilarious. Because I don't really think Carol thinks she did the wrong thing still.
No.
Yeah.
She said,
thinks that's
I
right.
did what I felt like I had to do.
I'm still not so sure about that.
Yeah, I know. I agree. By the way, Melissa McBride is she's fabulous. And she was wearing a really distracting necklace on The Talking Dead that was a silver hand in her cleavage.
Oh, wow.
Oh, man, I had the hardest time concentrating on what she was saying because I was so distracted by the silver hand.
People who are just listening to us right now but not really listening, listen to this part, because I want you to go find Melissa McBride on Twitter. I think I've never done this before, but I want to try it because I've really been trying to get her to do an interview with us. And I think she just doesn't really care to do interviews, but she'll do it if she feels safe or, like it's a nice chat maybe. But I would love for you guys to write to her and say, we'd love for you to talk to Jason and Karen, they're good people or something like that. Just to see if that would make a difference.
We're very nice.
Try it out. Yeah. We're sweethearts.
We are.
And we love her, and we really, really want to get her on the show for you guys. So,
Yep.
just go on Twitter. I think her Twitter is really easy. Her handle's at Melissa McBride or something like that. So, yeah, that would be awesome of you guys.
By the way, the puzzle that they were working on, apparently, according to Melissa McBride on The Talking Dead, that puzzle was a picture of Sophia in her rainbow t-shirt.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I thought the puzzle was great because they were talking about, she revealed that she killed Karen and David over a puzzle, and that's like a few pieces of the puzzle of The Walking Dead came together in this episode.
Right, exactly.
Who splayed that rabbit apart, who killed Karen and David,
Yeah, exactly.
Kind of a metaphor.
All right, you're next.
Yeah, so my number 3 was also about Carol, my first number 3, but anyway, about how Carol revealed that she killed Karen and David. And I loved how they kind of teased that maybe she would say it a couple of times over the episode, and because like Tyrese would say, "You're the only one I can trust." And so, well, Tyrese, and then she goes and says something else, and so the tension keeps mounting and mounting, and they kind of play with you a little bit, but then at the end you get to be satisfied, and she ended up saying it. So I thought that was great.
Right.
I did notice that when Tyrese sort of mused that maybe Lizzie killed Karen and David, Carol says it wasn't her. Like you said, she would have left them as a zombie or whatever. And then Carol says, I could leave with her. And you can see the look on her face. She's sort of like, maybe I better get out of here and just take her with me, and the two killers can go off and be by ourselves. I don't know if she was thinking I should run away from Tyrese, or we're bad people, or something like that. But
anyway. She could have. That's one scenario, and maybe Tyrese would have made it okay. I don't know. Maybe he could have stayed there. But
I'm glad that it worked out the way it did, as far as her just being straight with him.
Absolutely. No. Absolutely. I'm just saying that maybe, looking back on it, that's kind of the beauty of these episodes too. And anybody who's listened to this knows that I enjoy these not black or white scenarios. This is a very gray area. And do you kill that little girl or don't you? I mean, maybe she just takes her away. I don't know.
Oh, by the way, I forgot to mention that it being the perfect timing for Carol to confess, because right after Tyrese was complicit in an equally gruesome act. That was, I read pretty much that in an email from listener Jeffrey Bray, and thought it was brilliant. So I told him I would steal it for the top 5.
Nicely stolen. Thanks, nicely stolen and then attributed.
Okay, your turn.
Okay, my turn is, my number 3 is change. So this episode underlined with a big black Sharpie pen how characters have changed over the course of the last, is it 2 years that we're talking about here?
Something like that, yeah.
About 2 years, yeah. And how, everybody is suffering and it's all changing them in different ways. Tyrese is having nightmares, and Lizzie, of course, she's so far gone off the deep end, and maybe that's PTSD. Who knows if she had it before, but she's definitely now completely gone off the deep end. Carol has transitioned from a woman who was bullied by her husband into somebody who's tough as nails. Mm-hmm. She doesn't take anything from anyone. She's an ice queen.
Going and also from a nurturing mother to really like hard, like maybe a little too far in the hard direction.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. And sorry, little Mika is the only one who has pretty much tried to stay the same. You could tell she was still such a cute little girl through the episode, talking about Tom Sawyer, Huck Finn, mm-hmm. and also talking about, finding her little doll. And when she said, I'm going to name her Griselda, she totally looked like, any little girl. We all just
bust out laughing at that part. It was kind of, it seemed believable. It was kind of ridiculous.
It's totally ridiculous.
It was like out of a Disney movie or something.
Yeah, but that's how little girls are. They're adorable like that. And she was able to sort of pull that.
She told Tyrese to relax, like, he goes, I'm not used to being in a house in a living room. And she's all, so relax.
I know, it's so cute. And it's really funny too, because she also commented on other people changing. When Carol says people came into the prison and killed our friends, Mika said, well, I feel sorry for them. And mm-hmm. Carol says, why? And Mika says, because they probably weren't like that before. So it kind of pities the people who have changed for the worse, and mm-hmm. and rightly so. And it was kind of interesting. The theme of can you come back, and how far gone are you, and how much do you have to change of yourself to survive in this world? Can you kill a little girl who killed another little girl? It's rough, man.
I called it the toughness continuum, because there's a lot about how not being mean or being too nice will get you killed. And I think that's true. You have to be tougher, and you have to, like, we're walking around day to day. We don't have to decide whether we're going to kill somebody, but in this world, we probably would have to decide that. And if you're not ready to do it, there's a good chance that you're not going to survive. But if you go all the way over to the other side where you're training little girls who are psycho to use knives, then maybe you've gone too far.
Right, exactly.
And so there was an exchange where Lizzie said, "Do you have kids?" And Carol said, "I did, a kid. What was she like?" "She was sweet, didn't have a mean bone in her body." Then Lizzie says, "Is that why she isn't here now?" And Carol said, "Yep." So
I don't think that's why she died.
I don't either. I don't either. But then later on, though, Carol's trying to tell Mika, you got to kill sometimes. And Mika said, "I can just run." And then Carol said, "Well, Sophia ran and that wasn't enough."
Yeah.
So she kind of has a point there. Maybe if she had learned to kill zombies.
Right. Be more brutal.
Yeah, at least. But I mean, really, on all practicality, you do need to be able to kill zombies in this world.
Yes, right. That you do. Agreed.
Yeah.
And that actually kind of looks like fun.
Right. Mika can't even kill a deer for food. And by the way, I kept thinking it'd be funny if right as she was aiming at that deer that Carl stepped out of the bushes.
Dang it! I keep getting shot. Keep getting mistaken for a deer.
But so you could say that Mika is on one end of this toughness continuum and Lizzie is way over on the other, or she'll kill anything and Mika won't kill anything. And maybe the moral of the story is that you have to find the right middle ground, even though that's hard.
Yeah, exactly. But Mika did. In Mika's defense, she did kill a zombie.
Oh yeah, I can't remember when, but I remember she did.
Yeah, she killed a couple, I think, in this episode.
She shot one in the head, right? Mm-hmm, yeah, that came. I think the one that burst out of the house when they first.
Yeah, that flipped over the railing. What a dumbass! Yeah. Zombies are dumb, and she also did a nice headshot of one of the crispy fried zombies.
The dumbest zombie was the one that was just walking down the train tracks and then fell and was stuck. He was a perfectly good zombie and all of a sudden incapacitated.
Oh, I don't know why my leg is between these ties. I'm a dumb zombie.
I can't move forever.
Oh.
It was funny at the Walker Stalker at people kept congratulating us for winning that award,
Oh, that's nice.
Then at breakfast they kept saying congratulations for winning best podcast ever, forever and ever. Like Nat said that over and over again for all eternity. I'm like, yep.
Thanks.
Okay, my number 2, right?
Yes.
Is Carol and Tyrese as a couple? Could they be a couple? Are they becoming a couple?
No.
No?
Not after that confession. Hell no.
I think, I don't know. I think maybe, I don't know. There's some weird twisted thing about that they are now square with each other. But I mean, maybe not. When I mentioned that at Walker Stalker Con, people had the same reaction as you did. They said, no. But I think it was more because they wanted Carol to end up with Daryl.
Oh, that's never going to happen.
I don't think so. But, it seemed like they were setting it up, or they could have easily become a couple if Carol hadn't had that big secret, because they're holing up in this house and Tyrese kept saying nice things. You're the only one I can trust. We could stay here together, make it work. They seem like they'd make a good pair to me, too, for some reason.
Well, also, let's face it. How big is the dating pool? 1, 2 people.
But if you're gonna match people up of all the cast, and let's say, okay, how about Maggie and Tyrese? Nah, not so much. How about Maggie and Carl? No. How about Michonne and Daryl? Yeah, I could see that working. Well, I think Tyrese and Carol could make a good couple. I'm being a shipper again, but that's what I think.
All right, you're entitled to your crazy shipping theories.
Okay, thank you.
All right, my number 2 was the living room scene. And actually, this is going to sound kind of shippy because it looked like for a little bit, it kind of look like a little nuclear family. So I'm not so anti.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Yeah, that's part of why I thought that.
Yeah, they really did. And I liked the juxtaposition of the sweet living room scene with the crackling fire and the easy chair. Dad's in his easy chair, and mom and the girls are cracking pecans over at the card table. And Miko was playing with her doll, and it looked pretty much like paradise, especially compared to where they've been and the horror of what was just behind them and what was just ahead, actually. So it was this weird little moment of, hey, we can stay here. We've got water, we've got gas, inexplicably. We've got a pecan grove, we've got deer that just, hey, make us venison. They've got lamp oil, evidently. They've got comfy couches, and it looks kind of cozy. And a little wire fence, even. So they could have made a go of it, and it was really tragic because I'm thinking, it's really nice there. Just relax. Just stay there for a couple of days.
You knew, just not only just because this is The Walking Dead, but also because Carol had that huge secret that she killed his girlfriend, and we knew Lizzie was a psycho. So it was sort of like, yeah, this ain't going to last, but it would be nice, but it's not. No way. That's what I thought. And then I thought it was interesting how they left too. They're like, we can't stay here. It's like, they just sort of built up a bunch of really, really bad memories real quick in that house.
Yeah, right. No, they could not stay there. Yeah. You gotta you're tripping over the little girls' graves every day as you go about your business. No, that would be bad.
So do you think, they're definitely going to Terminus, right? They're on the tracks.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. And they didn't even bother putting dumb railroad tie zombie out of his misery.
Yeah, I thought that was an interesting choice. Okay, so let's see. My number one was the toughness continuum thing that I already talked about. So your turn.
Okay, so my number one is, it's not exactly a criticism. It's just a wish. So here's my wish. I have no problem with the pace so far, but I would like to have had more, less focused on one group per episode, and then a next group per episode. We haven't seen Rick that was the third episode so far that we haven't seen Rick and company, and I think that if they mix it up a little bit more, if the episodes had some from one group, some from another group, it would have felt a little richer and maybe more interesting and had more variety. So I'm hoping, and so it's kind of a wish, I'm hoping that that's what we're going to get in the next 2 episodes. It's not going to be focused on one group or another until the very bitter end. I'm hoping now that we're going to see a little bit more from everybody and find out exactly how all the pieces come together of this puzzle that's been forming.
Oh, okay. Well, I pretty much totally disagree with that.
That's it. You know what?
We've kind of talked about it. Yeah. We kind of talked about it already a lot. I mean, like, I feel like for 2.5 years on this show, we've had them together. So, this is actually a short time for them to be apart. I mean, I hear what you're saying, though. They could still jump back and forth among the different people.
Yeah.
Right? But I like, just focusing in and really getting a good long story about just a couple people, because it's so unusual for the show. And then you get to explore them more deeply than you would otherwise. Like that Daryl Beth episode I really liked a lot. And it's different, it's different. It's nice for a change. And I really there's that part of me that longs for them to be together, but it's like that good longing that we talked about before. And I really don't think, I have a feeling that they will come together in the last scene of the last episode, but we're not going to get to see what happens until next season when they're all together.
Yeah,
that's what I
that's
think is going to happen.
True.
And it's a big cliffhanger that's like, okay, damn it, I got to watch next year. But we'll see.
Yeah, that's probably true.
Because if they all just got back together to first scene next episode, then it would still be interesting because they're definitely in a different place than they were before. But it would be a lot more like many episodes that we've already seen than these last few episodes have been.
Yeah.
Which I guess ain't a bad thing. It's a good show.
Yeah. Really good show.
That's true. Okay, notes. Any notes?
Well, I gave you most of my notes already.
Okay. I just loved the scene of Lizzie frolicking around with the zombie.
Yeah, wasn't that good?
It's so different. And it felt homey, like a twisted homey kind of. She's giggling, and there's this song, this old-fashioned song playing.
And it's menacing. It's
right. And they're looking out the kitchen window. Yeah, it's like menacing and also kind of Norman Rockwell at the same time.
Yes.
And then even to ramp up the tension, you hear the tea kettle whistling.
Yeah.
But it's a tea kettle, which is nice, but it's like, it's going to blow up.
I know. It was
Very
a great episode.
done.
And I like that they revisited that scene.
Yeah.
Because later on, Carol's looking out the window and she sees it and she's like, oh, that girl, man.
Oh, boy. And that zombie was about to chomp down on her, too, which might have been for the best.
Right. I was thinking that, too. Like, if only Griselda had actually gotten her.
Yeah. And then Lizzie would have come shambling up to the door and Carol would have been like, oh, crap.
I did what I had to do.
So the plume of smoke and fire, is that from Daryl and Beth's burning that house with the moonshine?
That's my guess. And I think that's maybe a lot of people's guesses.
In an interview, Scott Gimple said, I'm not going to tell you. And I think he meant that in a way that's like, we'll never know.
Oh, good. All right.
Good for him.
Well,
jerk. Just kidding. What happened to Lizzie and Mika's mom? I don't know if we know, but somebody, Mika said, my mom used to say everything works out the way it's supposed to. And I'm like, well, where's she?
Right. Exactly. Well, it's nice that Mika can have that philosophy with all the craziness in the world.
Yeah. Rose-colored glasses. Then finally, I thought the burned up zombies looked really great.
Oh my God, didn't they? That was
so
actually
scary.
I forgot the zombie kill of the week was definitely the smoky charred zombies coming,
Massacre.
lurching forward. It was great.
To me, that reminded me of Jason Voorhees for some reason.
Who's Jason Voorhees?
You know, the hockey mask.
See, I didn't see those, remember?
Oh, you haven't seen those? It just seemed like some kind of demonic horror movie. I don't know, scary as hell.
Yeah, they were scarier than normal zombies for sure.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay, great. I mean, amazing episode. Made us feel something for once in our lives.
In your cold, cold heart.
Okay, before we get to the news, I just wanted to talk a little bit about Walker Stalker Con in case some of you guys are curious about that. I haven't really talked to you about it that much, right, Karen?
No, not much at all. I've been saving my questions.
What do you want to know?
I want to know everything.
It was amazing. Like, if you don't know, you probably know, but it's this big convention put on by the Walker Stalkers, Eric and James. And it was in Chicago. There's going to be another one in Atlanta in October. I highly recommend you guys go because there's been two now and they've just been amazing. And this one was even better than the last one, slightly. But I did 16 panels. I helped with Q&A, mostly with Eric, and sometimes James came in too. But the people were so big that I just didn't want to not do it. So there were three of us up there interviewing like one person.
Oh, wow! Who was your most interesting interview?
You know what? I think it might have been Michael Cudlitz, who plays Abraham.
Interesting.
I know. I totally wasn't expecting that because he's new and everything, but he was super down to earth. And one thing that I love that he did was like a little kid would get up and ask kind of a dumb question and he would think about it and give this really great thought out answer that made me think maybe that wasn't such a dumb question.
Oh,
I love that.
You know, I gotta say he was great on The Talking Dead.
That's what I
Remember
heard,
he was on The Talking Dead, and I'm like, wow, that guy is amazing.
We had, I mean, we had a little bit of a connection up there because we went backstage and just kept talking about it, So I hope I can get him on the podcast because he was awesome.
Please.
Nestor Carbonell from Lost, Richard Alpert, he was just like the sweetest guy ever. I'm like, I haven't seen, he's on Bates Motel, which is headed up by Carlton Cuse. Mm-hmm. And I go, I haven't seen that. And he goes, oh, we can talk about whatever you want. We can talk about Lost, whatever you want, which is really cool. But luckily the audience asked him questions about Bates Motel too.
I hear good things about Bates Motel.
Yeah, me too.
And did he look like he was wearing eyeliner?
Yeah, and that came up. And he goes, hey, I got to admit, sometimes when I look at myself, I think I look like I'm wearing eyeliner too.
A little blush, kind of some lipstick.
And then somebody joked that he was only wearing it in one eye or something. I don't know. That was weird. I went to the Emily Kinney concert, which her voice is really beautiful. And it was very nice to hear.
Did she sing any Tom Waits?
That Hold On song? Yeah, she did. Yeah. She sang
I would like to have heard that.
Hold On song. Yeah. It was really good. She sang this one song that about it's called Take Home Julie, and she said she has a crush on this guy and his girlfriend's name is Julie, and the song was all about trying to get her out of the picture. And she wanted the whole crowd to yell out "Take Home Julie" so she could put that vibe out there. And I was sort of like, I don't know if I can get behind this. It's a beautiful song, but
that's funny.
Gwendolyn Christie from Game of Thrones.
Yes.
I asked Aaron from Watching Dead to come up with me because he also has a Game of Thrones podcast, and it's super hard for me to remember all the details,
Yeah, there's a lot.
And he's really smart, but he did great, and we really connected with her too. And she was nervous because she was afraid at a Walking Dead convention no one would care, but she had a lot of people in the audience, and it was really electric. And she talked a lot about how she wants her character to represent just being happy with how you are as a woman and not conforming to any standard, She really got into it. And then she kissed me on the cheek, which was really great.
You got kissed by her.
I know.
I love Brienne. She's one of my favorite characters on that show too.
Yeah. She was, that storyline is probably my favorite of that season for sure. Watching how her and him kind of hate on each other for a long time, and then they end up, having respect for each other. It's really cool.
Yeah,
but I don't too many spoilers. But anyways, I got a hug from Lauren Cohan, which was awesome.
Is she even more lovely in person?
Yes, she is, definitely. Yeah. I was thinking maybe she wouldn't be, but she totally was. And she was really super sweet too. She's like, I go, you were on my podcast. She goes, I thought I recognized your voice. So that was really cool.
Wow, that's awesome. She thought about you.
I know. Either that or she's a great liar. Irony was amazing as usual.
Yes.
Got up there and just poured his heart and soul out to everybody and was super entertaining. And he started rapping from backstage before he came out.
Wow.
And he sang this Valentine's rap to his wife and everything. The Comic Book Men were really cool. They were fun. You ever watch that show? I've only watched it a couple times, but I actually saw it's Brian, Mike, and Ming, and I saw Ming a lot, or at parties and stuff, and we chatted, and he was super nice. What else? Nicotero was great as usual. Lori Holden was kind of nervous. I think she's just still kind of got shell shocked by the backlash against Andrea,
Oh, the hating on Andrea.
Yeah. So she had Nicotero go up with her, even though he wasn't scheduled to, because he's a friend and to help her feel comfortable. And the panel went really well.
Oh, that's really sad.
Yeah, I know. But you know what? She said she's in Dumb and Dumber 2 with Jim Carrey. And that'll probably be really huge. So hopefully it'll be a great, success for her. I can't wait to see it, to tell you the truth. I loved that first movie.
It's going to be huge.
Yeah. What else? I suddenly got thrown on a panel with Travis Love, Jose Pablo Cantillo, Lou Temple, and Daniel Thomas May, and I was the only one hosting, and it wasn't scheduled, and it went great.
Oh, that's great!
They did pose-offs again. It was funny because Travis Love, who's the big black guy with the big arms,
Yeah.
And he played Shumpert, and then Jose Pablo Cantillo, who played Martinez. They were like posing off against each other. And then Daniel Thomas May, who played Alan, who's pretty skinny, and Lou Temple, who played Axel, then they got up and started posing too.
Oh my God, that's adorable. That's awesome. Did they help you out? Like, did you have to, was it hard to come up with questions?
It wasn't hard because they all died on the show. So we spent a lot of time talking about each of their deaths. And then, I realized while I was up there that Axel, he had a quick, sudden death, that you didn't see coming. But Alan was sort of the opposite, where the governor was right there in front of him and he had a chance to kill the governor, but he was like frozen in the headlights. And so we talked about the two differences between those two. And Travis Love kept saying that we never actually saw his character die, so he's still alive out there somewhere.
Awesome. That's great.
So that was great. The podcaster panel was pretty good. I started it off kind of dumb. I said, I just found out backstage that we all drink before we do our podcasts. And the audience was sort of quiet. And then I made everybody say what they drank, and it wasn't going over all that well. So, but it got pretty good towards the end.
Well, we don't get drunk.
Yeah, we don't get drunk. We have a beer.
We just have a little beer. Mm-hmm. What's the problem with that, people? Come on.
Yeah, seriously. But it was good, and I totally enjoyed hanging out with Chris. Jason wasn't there, but Chris from Talking Dead podcast. He and I hung out a lot. And Melissa Hutchison is my new best friend. We were just like hanging out at the bar the whole time and talking to, Melissa, she had her panel on Friday night late, and it was pretty well attended, but better than last time because the panel area was right in the middle of the convention. And I got to tell you, so they brought 300 Clementine hats. And they were going to give them to the people in the crowd, right? And I said, well, just give me 3 of those and then waiting on my signal. So I go out, I put the 3 hats on the table, I start answering or asking questions. And then I go, oh, by the way, these hats, does anybody want a hat? And everybody's, oh, because it was all like diehards, right? So I threw them out into the crowd one by one. And I'm like, I've always wanted to do that, but actually you all get one. I wasn't sure if they'd be mad about that, but whatever, they all got a hat. So
that's funny.
That was pretty fun. And then
you just want the experience of throwing something cool into the crowd.
Yeah, like Oprah.
Yeah, everyone gets a Mercedes.
But then the next day at Melissa's autograph booth, it was like busy from opening to close. She was just signing autographs nonstop all day long. And the next day after that, same thing. And you'd go over to even some of the actors from Walking Dead, there'd be like 1 or 2 people there, but Melissa just had like dozens of people all the time. And so I'm like, ooh, next time I hope that they will let her do her panel if she comes again, or Telltale on one of the busy days, so it can be totally packed and standing room. Yeah, because she was great. It was a good panel with her. Like, not quite as good as when you and I were interviewing her, but she's super chill and everything.
Did she speak as Clementine?
Yeah, of course. Yeah,
of course. And did you save a hat for me?
I have 3 hats, and I'm going to give them away to listeners because that's what they want me to do.
I'm listening to you. I listen to you every freaking week.
Hat. You know what? Come to Atlanta.
Okay.
Okay. Then I'll give you my hat if they don't have any other ones there.
Okay. Anything else?
Oh, you know what? I should say, the panels were great, and especially once I did a few and I got warmed up, but it wasn't as good as I really missed you up there, and I didn't feel as comfortable.